Most chess.com players are stuck below 1000 elo. But the crazy part is, getting there is actually stupidly easy if you stop doing what everybody else does and start doing what I'm about to show you. You have to follow one rule. And this rule I call the no chaos rule. You're going to see this in this game very soon, okay? White is 600 rated and black is 500 rated. d4 is the first move and knight c6 is already the second move. And this is already a non-standard, very chaotic move because already, you know, there could be some complications with pushing and everything, but that doesn't happen. e3, e6 and a4. And you already see what is this, right? White is not following traditional opening principles like knight c3 or knight f3, developing pieces. No, he is making chaos on the board. And that is not good. Bishop e4 checks, c3, bishop a5, and immediately the black bishop is trapped, right? Why is the black bishop immediately trapped? Well, because the black bishop, instead of just developing normally to e7, you know, you play d5, you play knight f6, he wanted to give this check, but this check can easily be blocked by the bishop, by the pawn. And now there immediately is a loss of a bishop, right, in the position. So black sacrifices everything. And this is not a normal position after move 6. Not at all. Not for above 1000 rating. So bishop here, and now we trade. And in this position, black finally develops the knight to f6. Very good move. And now rook c1. And again, this is not so good. I mean, I get the point, okay? You're trying to go to an open file. But bro, you gotta first develop these pieces, okay? Now king f8, okay, I guess black wanted to castle and this was a mouse slip, I hope so at least. And now in this position, instead of developing, right, keep the chaos as small as possible if you're below 1000. This is the rule. Keep your chaos as small as possible. How do you in this position keep the chaos as small as possible? Well, you play a solid move, knight f3, and then this and castle. Well, white decides to move this knight again for no reason. I mean, your goal is obviously to achieve castling. And hangs it in one move. And it gets taken. And now plays f3. Also unnecessary. This also creates chaos. Why? Queen h4 check in this position is just winning. Right? King e2. But black doesn't play that. But even if black doesn't play that, this is still weak in the long run. And now d5. What have I told you again? Keep the chaos minimal. Why not just develop your pieces here? Instead, you try to move forward. Even if this move somehow worked, even like if you had a pawn here, even then, keep the chaos minimal. This is stupid. And again, a5. What are you doing? What are you doing? This is chaotic. Stop the chaos. Now this, c5 also from black. Weird moves instead of developing. Queen here. And now, instead of just, for example, trading off the queens, white decides to take here. For no reason. For no reason, white decides to take here. And this is obviously defended. So, yeah, you just lose a piece here. And then black managed actually to not blunder that much anymore. And actually managed to win here. And now you might be saying, well, okay, I'm going to try to make it less chaotic. But how do I concretely do it, okay? Number one, look at the time of these players. They started out with 15 minutes on the clock. Now they have 17, and this guy has 16. They get 10 seconds per move. They basically played every move instant. Basically. Stop that. Use your actual time that you have. If you want to play fast, play blitz. And the second thing is, try to follow opening principles. If you don't know already, opening principles, take the center, right? Already in this position, e4 could have been played from the white pieces, right? Here, d5 needs to be played, or, I don't know, e5. Something that strikes for the center, but not this. And a4 doesn't develop a piece, right? Strike for the center. Opening principles, develop pieces. Don't move pieces twice in the opening, right? We have this later on here. Right, this could have been avoided 94 if you just stopped moving your pieces around in the opening. Following these opening principles will greatly reduce the chaos in your games. But even then you say, okay, I perfectly follow the opening principles, but I still blunder at some point. Well, then you have to ask yourself, before you make a move, you have to ask yourself, okay, does my opponent have a threat? No, or does this move blunder anything, right? These guys, they just blitz everything out. Like, once this guy played, like, queen takes c8, like, just ask yourself, well, is this defended? Try to ask yourself, okay, what can my opponents, or what can my pieces see? Pretend this guy has eyes, okay? Pretend this queen has eyes. Where can the queen see? The queen can see this square, this square, this square, this, 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 this. You know, like on these diagonals, okay? This is how the queen moves. And same thing for the bishop here, how these pieces move. Or here. And now, if you want to take here, then you can ask yourself, okay, the rook can see this, so it's defended one time. So let's look at another game. And this game, interestingly, starts actually very similar. e4, knight, c6, e4, d5, e5. What white has done greatly here is actually push these pawns, right? Took space in the center. Bishop here. Black also, I don't hate it. I mean, they develop pieces, put some pieces in the center, some pawns. This is not too bad. Knight c3, alright, still development, and now they want to castle. At least they're trying to develop and they're not playing like crazy shit, okay? Now bishop b5 is already a move that you wouldn't play. I mean, there's no pin really here, and this is not doing much. e6, and now g4. This move is technically playable, and white is going to be rewarded for this move in a second, but it weakens the position in the long run, and it creates chaos on the board. Knight f3 is perfectly fine, and it wouldn't have created this chaos. You will see, this is why I picked this game. g4, bishop g6, and now they take here for some reason, and then h4. And now obviously the threat is h5, trapping the bishop. But black just ignores that, and this is happening, and you know, now the bishop is lost. So now white is winning. But again, white has created all this chaos on this board. I mean, there are threats all over the board, right? Look at this. There are threats everywhere, and you know, this is very dangerous for a 500 player to handle. It would actually be better for a 500 player to not have a winning position like this, but to have an equal position where everything looks normal and there are not many threats. And what do you think happens in this game? Knight here. Oh, e3. 3 pawn. I can just take. No. This was the whole thing. And if you hadn't created this weird thing over on this side of the board, this all wouldn't have happened. So like, and now you just lose the game, and black actually blundered again with h6. Bishop h4 now is winning, but for some reason white decided to resign in this position. I don't know why. Maybe because they thought they're gonna get forked, but there's just au passant. Yeah. This is what happens, guys. This is what happens if you create too much chaos. So for the last game, I want to show you a game that was played between 2 club players at my local club. And one was a little bit higher rated, and that is white. And white was doing everything correctly in this game. I really love white's game here. Why? d4, d5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop f4, f6, pawn to e3. White takes the center, develops their pieces. This is obviously the London system. Don't let yourself get hated out of the London system. The London system is a great weapon for you. Bishop here. Already, this is weird. This is already weird. Okay, again, I'm not trying to be too harsh on black here. I mean, it is a kid that played that, but still. c3, nicely developing like the London system you're supposed to. And again, h6, this doesn't really make sense. And everything that the black plays doesn't really make sense. And then here, the king gets moved. And, you know, they just smoothly... Look how solid the position and less chaotic white's position is. Look at black's position. I mean, what is this? What is this? How can you win this? And now, black just hangs the piece in one move. They take, and they'll simply go back. And then, in this, they take simply, and black decides to do random stuff. And from here on, white plays a pretty good game. I mean, they don't create too much chaos. F4 a little bit chaotic, but still fine. I mean, they're not playing perfectly. They're playing as good as they can, and that is nice. And then they converted this game, and were actually able to completely win. I mean, they played it until checkmate. Nice game from White here. I loved how they developed peacefully, and they didn't want to make some crazy chaos. To sum this whole thing up, try to play less chaotic. How do you do that? Follow opening principles, improve your board vision, and then you're good to go. Then you will reach this goal of yours, 1000 elo. Trust me, you will reach it sooner than you actually think. Hit the like and subscribe button right now. I see you in the next video.